Hi guys, Mr. Beal here again to go through another social skills lesson talking about the emotional brain and the thinking brain. Now, we all know we have one brain, right? And in our brain we have a thinking part of our brain and we have an emotional part of our brain, okay? And our thinking brain is where we take in information into our ears and we process it. It comes back and you can use it once we go into the front of our brain, which is like the prefrontal cortex. It's called the frontal lobe. If you guys can say it back, pause the video and say frontal lobe. I hope you did that. Okay, so it's the very part is when we get information either in our ears or from what we see, and we take the information in and we use it into our brain. It comes back, comes back to the frontal lobe, and we can use it. Other part of our brain is our feelings, right? We all have feelings, and oftentimes in the world now, a lot is driven by our feelings. Feelings of love, feelings of hate, feelings of happiness, feelings of sadness, feelings of worry or of fear, things like that. And oftentimes our emotions can be really, really powerful, and they can kind of overpower the thinking part of our brain. Our emotions become sometimes more important than our thinking. And when that happens, it can cause problems when we relate with friends or family, when we get schoolwork, when we run into things we don't understand. Our emotions tend to try to take over. And our brains are wired. They're wired to kind of look for things that are scary or maybe threatening. And they're wired to look for good things like gifts and rewards and things that make us happy. So we really have to know ourselves and know our brains to know what things make us scared and are threatening, and what things are happy and are rewards that we like, things like that. So that we can control our brain rather than our brain controlling us. Because when our brain controls us, we can sometimes do things that are not safe. And specifically, we can do things that are not safe when we are being selfish, when we're thinking a lot about ourselves. And when we have strong emotions, we often do think more about ourselves than what's happening around us, and we can sometimes make unsafe choices. So I want to go through quick. As you can see in this brain, it's connected to different colors. This part of the brain is green, which represents the green zone. And I can kind of show you that here if you can see it. It's obviously it's green, and green zone feelings are happy, calm, and kind of feeling okay, and really calm or chill. Also, you can kind of see in this area, the blue area, which is near the amygdala, which is where our feelings happen. This yellow part is called the amygdala. Can you pause the video and say that? Say amygdala. Okay, I hope you paused the video and said that. But in that blue zone area where we can kind of experience sadness, maybe feeling sick, maybe feeling tired or bored. You might be feeling tired or bored being at home all day long and kind of stuck in your house. You might be feeling sad about missing friends and family. And hopefully you're not sick. And if you are sick, you should stay home and try to rest and get better. And again, in this, when was that word again? Amygdala. Yep, this yellow area is that amygdala. That's where a lot of our feelings happen. We can see that it's the yellow zone. And so in the yellow zone, you might feel frustrated or worried or excited, like not just happy, but way too excited, where our happiness can kind of makes us kind of maybe go silly and wild. And over here is silly also. So we have to be careful about that yellow zone. And then we have the red zone. I wonder if you guys can tell me some emotions that are in the red zone. Maybe pause the video now and see if you can remember some of the conversations you've had with me about the red zone. Okay. In the red zone, we might be feeling mad. And when we feel angry or mad, we might do things that are like yelling or hitting or throwing things. Those are not safe. Sometimes maybe we feel scared, which is worse than being worried. That's when we feel like that's the threat. Remember I said we feel like something could happen to us that we're scared about? So when you're feeling scared, you're probably in the red zone. And then sometimes mean, when you are maybe wanting to pick on people or you're wanting to get revenge, things like that aren't safe. So we have the thinking part of our brain, which is in the green zone, and we take information in and we process it, and hopefully it can come back and we can use it. But if it travels through this area and our emotions are going, it often will stop our thinking brain and cause us to struggle through emotions. And we have to get calm again to get back into the green zone so we can use our information. Another illustration I have, as I like to use, is our hands. Now, on here, these 4 fingers represent your thinking brain. So please put your hand up. Hopefully I can, I think I can see some hands up there. Yep, put your hand up. And these are your fingers. Can you wiggle them like this? This is your thinking brain. And this guy, you think it's called your thumb, but for this illustration, it's called your emotional brain, okay? And we never want our emotional brain to be too in control, because if it is, it will make us flip our lid. Do you see that? So we want our thinking brain to be on top of our emotional brain so we can make calm, safe choices, okay? But if we, in the case that something happens, and I've used the word trigger, it's some like what you would see on maybe a gun. That there's a trigger little part, and that part sets off the gun, right? And so, in the same way, if you have strong emotions, something can cause your emotions to be strong and trigger your emotional brain. Your emotional brain can make you boom, pop, and flip your lid. So you have to be careful and think about things that trigger you. What things maybe trigger strong emotions? What things make you flip your lid? Some of those things might be a conversation you had with a parent that maybe made you upset or embarrassed or frustrated or something. Maybe it's a conversation you had at recess with a friend. Maybe they didn't let you play the way you were hoping to get to play, or maybe it was a work assignment that maybe sometimes reading can be hard, and so you feel worried or angry or mad about reading. And what you would need to do is be careful about your emotions, because all of a sudden it triggers your emotional brain and you're thinking, oh no, I have to do this reading assignment. I'm scared and I don't want to. So you have to really be careful about that. So thinking about the things and knowing yourself, because if you don't know yourself, you're going to have a hard time making a safe choice. So we've talked about our thinking brain and we've talked about our emotional brain, and I showed you the flip your lid illustration. Now we want to talk about things that are going to help us maintain the thinking brain, okay? Maintain us staying calm. So, it's about knowing ourselves, right? We have to know the things that make us feel selfish or focused on our emotions and fears and thoughts and things like that. So, one way to do that is to know our triggers. So, for me, an example is I know that some of my emotions or some of my triggers are things that make me feel scared. Some things that make me feel scared are someone who's upset with me. That one is a big trigger for me. If I know someone's mad at me, I start getting really anxious. I start moving towards this yellow zone and I start to get worried. What do they think about me? Oh no, maybe they think I'm not a nice person, or maybe they think that I'm going to do something mean, or maybe they think that I'm not very good at certain things, and that can make me feel in the yellow zone, and if I'm not careful, it could make me feel very sad, or it could make me feel angry. So I have to watch that trigger for me. And so something that I do is I have to be able to use positive self-talk to help me stay calm. So positive self-talk can be reminding myself that people's words should not get to control me. So I can say to myself, their words are not in control of my emotions, and I have to tell myself that. Okay, I may have to go somewhere separate and kind of take a break, right? We talk about take a break, go and sitting somewhere else. And while I'm sitting there, I'm going to be really intentional to not focus on my thoughts and feelings, but to be intentional to focus on my breathing. So being mindful of my body. My body might be feeling tense. My body might be feeling maybe starting to feel sweaty. My heart might be beating faster. So I need to, in that time, start taking some deep breaths. So I will breathe in deep, hold my breath, and breathe out, and really focus on my breathing to slow it down. Some other things could be just going for a walking for a long distance, and not letting my emotions control me, but walking through things, or maybe talking to someone, talking to a friend. Those are things that help me. So I want you to think about what causes you to feel upset. So think about what triggers you. What triggers your emotions? And maybe it would be helpful to pick some emotions. So pick an emotion, some simple ones. Pick about an emotion of happiness. What triggers you to be happy? I want you to pause the video and discuss with someone next to you, mom or dad, grandpa, grandma, aunt, uncles, whoever's with you, maybe brother, sister, and discuss what things make you happy. Okay, go ahead and pause. Okay, I hope you paused. Maybe think about what things make you sad. What kind of things trigger sadness for you? Pick another emotion. Maybe what things make you feel tired? Maybe you're someone that doesn't sleep well at night, and that can make you feel tired for the whole rest of the day. And if you're tired, you're not going to be able to do much work, and it can also cause you to go to the yellow zone or even red zone if you're very, very tired. What things make you feel frustrated? So think about what things make you feel frustrated. Maybe you're not all the way angry and mad, but you're frustrated. Maybe it's worry. Maybe you're worrying about a friend or family member who's not feeling well. Or maybe you're worried about being around certain people because they make you feel nervous or scared. And then think about things that make you feel worried. Things like that. Worried and frustration can be close in hand. Or what things make you feel mad? Is it being excluded from maybe playing a game? Maybe it's the way someone said something to you. They didn't say it in a nice voice. They said it in maybe an angry voice. And so how did that make you feel? And making sure that you're being in control of these things. So once we know these things, what triggers us, then we can say, okay, let's find a tool to help us. So some of our friends use the self-talk phrase, feeling you will not control me. And so they name that feeling. They say, angry, you will not control me. And they use that as a way to have a positive self-talk. And instead they'll say, I need to be in my thinking brain, or I need to be in the green zone. And they say that to themselves. But it doesn't help to just say it one time. Sometimes you have to say that to yourself over and over and over again so that you're getting your mind, reminding your mind about what you should be thinking about. Okay? And then, again, another thing could be finding a trusted adult to talk about your feelings with. Because once you've talked it out, then once you're calm enough, you can kind of go back to your day. So I hope this is sort of helpful. Again, I want to summarize this. Our thinking brain is in the green zone, and we take in information in that thing called the frontal lobe, right? And it goes into our brain and comes back so we can use it. Okay, the frontal lobe. Then there's that thing called the amygdala. That's where we have our feelings at. It's in the feeling part of our brain, okay? And it causes us to overpower our thinking brain and can kind of rule us. And then we have, in that amygdala, we can get into the red zone if we're not careful and we get very mad. We did that flip your lid illustration. Remember, here's not your thumb anymore. It's your feeling part of your brain. And these are not your fingers anymore. They are your thinking brain. And if we are not controlling our emotions can make us flip our lid, right? And then we talked about knowing ourselves. And that's the most important part of this lesson. Know what's going on in your brain and body. Know what things trigger you. Because if they trigger you to feel angry, sad, frustrated, you can feel it in your body. Maybe you feel ache in your tummy. Maybe you feel it in your fist. Maybe your heart beats fast. And in those situations, we need to control our emotions. And we do that, we stay calm and control emotions by using positive thoughts and positive self-talk. And along with that, we maybe go to a separate place. We take a break. We get out of the situation that's making us mad, and we start doing deep breathing, right? Maybe at home, since we're distance from each other, maybe it's going to your bedroom and laying in your bed for a minute and just calming down there. Maybe it's going for a walk like I talked about too. And then also finding an adult that you can talk to that is safe, that you can process your emotions with. So, know what makes you upset and use self-talk, take a break, deep breathing, and maybe an adult to help you calm down so you can have a great day. All right, and I'm going to close with a quote from my old principal that when I was in high school used to say, "Make it a great day or not, the choice is yours." So I hope that for you, make it a great day or not, the choice is yours. Have a great day, guys.